Hi, my name is Laura Worley, and I wanted to speak to you today about mind control and what mind control really is. As a practitioner, I help a lot of people release stressful emotions that are caused by different things. And I'm not professing to be a licensed therapist, but I would like to share that I have a lot of experience in helping people, as well as being a survivor of SRA. So what I really like to share today is to make sure that there's a clear understanding of what mind control is. This is coming from some people saying a few things and it's been clear that most people don't really understand what mind control is. So I hope this video will help. Mind control is something that is done purposefully, and it is with an intent to harm and to control another person. Someone who is doing mind control has a great deal of experience and understanding of how the unconscious mind and the mind of the body work. It's very important to understand that when someone is creating mind control, there is a purpose. They are doing it for a specific outcome, and it's always for something that is against the person's values or what they would not normally do. Because if the person would normally do it, there would be no need for mind control. A couple of the things that are very, very important for groups that create mind control, such as the Illuminati, military, abuse, as well as satanic cults and witchcraft. Each of these groups do specific things to create mind control so they can keep their members under control. The number one rule is that you do not share, that you keep all things secret. So someone under mind control literally will not remember that they have these kind of things inside of them because they're only supposed to come out at a specific time. Mind control will usually always be started in the earliest of childhood that they can on a person. Most of the time, this kind of mind control that I'm going to be talking about is done because the family, usually satanic cult families, give their children to these groups, or they're part of the group, and the generations go back forever. But they're giving the child to be programmed. So what that means is they want children to do specific things that children will not do. So if they can create a part of the mind to do what they want, then they can have their evil desires. So what happens is that there are a couple of things that have to occur to create mind control. It is trauma-based. So the mind becomes so traumatized by the pain of what is happening to the body that it will split itself or die. And because the unconscious mind is designed to protect all of us, it will do whatever it takes to keep us alive. So the easiest way for us to stay alive is to split a part of ourselves in the unconscious mind in a compartment. And in that compartment, can something be created so that that part can handle and do what the programmer is asking? So I like to read a quote by a person who I don't know, his initials are SO. Mind control is never accidental. It's always intentional, purposeful, and guided by the mind of a person who intends to take control of the mind of another. Mind control cannot be installed accidentally or without life-threatening trauma. The abuse is necessary to separate the mind-brain connection, even temporarily and partially, is extreme and most often a near-death experience for the child. So those who have invented mind control came to a remarkable understanding of how the human body, mind, and spirit soul connection. And I can testify as someone who has experienced mind control under the most harsh of circumstances. It is absolutely necessary if you are and have been raised a part of this group to be able to split your mind. If you do not split your mind and you are not controllable, you will be killed. So if anyone ever comes from a group that worships Satan, that uses mind control, you absolutely know they have multiple personalities. That is the biggest part, that they can keep their secrets in this group protected, because above all, these groups demand secrecy. They demand allegiance and obedience. And if this is not done or given, you will be killed as well. So mind control is necessary for these groups to achieve their outcomes that they have. Not only is it mind control absolutely necessary, it protects them from all kinds of things, and they can make people who would never do some of the things that they ask, they can do it. And so I want you to understand that when mind control happens, something overpowers the mind and takes over, and the person consciously is not in charge anymore. So when somebody does awful things under mind control, they are not in charge. It is a part of the mind that has been trained, programmed to do a specific thing. And one of the things that we can talk about as an example would be a slave that has been, I call them sex slaves, because they are a slave to this group to do whatever they want at any time. And they are created to meet the evil sexual desires of most of the group members. And, many governmental officials, politicians, in the military, the list goes on. This isn't all about our great military. This is about specific people in high positions doing bad things. And the experiments that have gone on forever. For instance, I know for a fact they were doing experiments in 1940s, maybe even before, I don't know. But they've been doing these experiments to find out what the mind of a person can do and handle. And they've learned enormous amount of information, and they've really have become great experts on using mind control for their goals of worshiping Lucifer, creating their kingdom in this world. And that's what we see going on right now as they're trying to bring in the New World Order. And they are wishing to bring everybody under mind control. It may not be the same as somebody growing up in the cult, but they are practicing the same methods that they practiced on me currently, with all the governmental things. So another thing that I thought would maybe be helpful is I wanted to share what mind control is not. This is also taken from somebody who taught me a lot many years ago. And I'm not going to leave his name because he doesn't do this anymore. And so I'm going to respect his privacy. Multiple personalities. Okay, so this is what mind control is not. Multiple personalities or dissociative identity disorder. Dissociative abilities, including astral projections or astral travel. Layers of alternate personalities or complex alter systems. Internal councils or committees. Memories of trauma or the lack of memories. Rituals, ceremonies, festivals, and sacrifices. Covenants, vows, promises, blessings, curses. Training, learned behavior, teaching, theology, belief system. Learned languages, conditions, responses, reactions. Introjects, disassociation, human spirits. Generational human spirits. Disembodied human spirits. Blood lineage, family lineage, ancestors. Neurological impairment, physical injury. Mental disease or disorder. So this is what it is not. So what mind control is. DID must be created to have mind control. There are going to be complex structures intentionally installed beneath the level of consciousness, which contain directives and images. They control, harm, deceive, and discourage humanity at the conscious level. Okay, objects perceived by the mind at a non-conscious level as being physically implanted within the body to control, harm, and deceive. Installed personalities. This can take the executive control of the body. So this is what I'm talking about, mind control, without any human alternate personality being aware of the control or the harm. This is being done physically to oneself or to others. There's also going to be a part of mind control that is used with spiritual evil. And this is going to be below the level of consciousness. The entities are often attached to using mind control because they know once they install a program into the unconscious mind, that demons that attach to it, which they give permission, can also keep this program alive in the mind so that the person won't remember. So I wanted to share that with you. And just one last thing. So trauma. So a lot of people, when they're trying to help somebody undo the mind control, they focus specifically on the trauma. And that just doesn't work because you have to remove the programs. What I have found is if you'll remove programs, a lot of the trauma will actually be gone with that. If you try to just focus on trauma and releasing trauma and you don't address the programs, that person will always be in that trauma because the program keeps repeating and recreating what happened to them. So this person said, trauma is a syringe, which is in mind control, was injected. Removing the syringe does not remove what has been placed in the unconscious mind. Many traumas can be recovered as alternate personalities were conscious when that was being done. Mind control is not installed until the body has gone unconscious and no personality is conscious to resist its installation, which also brings out a next point for me, is that when this mind control is created, oftentimes they do bring the child to a near-death experience because at that point there is no filters. They can put in whatever they want. They can say whatever they want, and they will always have things that will be harmful to you. They will make you feel like you are of no worth, that God hates you. You can never go to God. He'll never forgive you for what they made you do. And so I'd like to share anybody that has had mind control. I want you to also know that yes, you were made to do very bad things, but at the same time, that was not your free will and free choice. So whoever programmed a person to act like a robot and to be a robot, to do something, they are the ones responsible for what they created. And I know that because the Lord has shown me that many, many times, that if somebody is done bad things and it was not their free will and choice, they are forgiven, and the blame and the responsibility will be on those that were creating it. I hope that helps. It's just a small portion of what it is, but I wanted to make sure that people understood the full meaning of this awful thing that's been created and turned against us, because right now they are using the same tactics on the world to bring in the New World Order. So if you can understand what they're doing, you can also stop it. So I want you to also understand, if you have had this done to you and you have been under some form of mind control, you can overcome it and your mind can pull itself back together, and it will. And there are ways to heal. There are ways to overcome what has been done. And there's nothing that they can do that cannot be healed. So I hope you have a great day, and I hope this helps. I'll be doing a lot of videos in the future that I'm going to be explaining a whole bunch of just short videos of information. Take care.